It's Don, the Auction Professor. Today I just wanted to touch base a little bit on how important your feedback and your persona is on eBay. I know there is no buy box in eBay right now. You know there is one in Amazon. For those of you who haven't done Amazon, if you get the buy box, your chance of selling the item over anybody else is like 99% increased by having that buy box. So the buy box is like the #1 thing you want on eBay. FBA helps you do that, and you know, if it's a rare item in collectibles, I have buy boxes on most of my items because they're usually one of a kind on Amazon. So that really helps. To not have the buy box, you're way down in the list, and you may not sell that item hardly ever unless it's somebody who's really taken the time to try and get the lowest price. You know, and feedback all ties into that too. Even with Amazon, your feedback means something too. But with eBay, there is no buy box. So what you got to strive for is to be the best you can and have the best possible feedback. That's one reason why we do, no matter what it takes, to keep the top-rated seller plus status. We've had it for a couple of years now, probably 3 years now, maybe even longer than that. Maybe most of the time we've been on eBay. Didn't used to pay much attention to it back when we first started. The first, couple months I wasn't even sure what it was. So we did pay attention to it. It does save us some money. I know they cut it in half, the discount you get from your final value fees, but every dime helps. And it's not just the discounts you get. For some, that's nothing really, because you're not selling a ton to get it to earn a ton of money. But for us, we earn a lot on it. We sell a ton of stuff, so we get a good discount, and it is a considerable amount of money we get back from it. When you sell a lot, you get a lot back. But besides getting the discount, the top-rated plus seller status is like a buy box for eBay. I don't know how many subscribers, shop offline religiously like we do. Everything we get is from online. I mean, I haven't had, a satellite dish or really cable or any kind of, connection to our house other than the internet for at least 12 years, maybe 14 years now. We cut the cord years ago, so for us, we buy offline, and we've been stunk quite a few times. Every year we get 1 or 2 packages. We've lessened it now by really being very careful on who we buy from. Sometimes even the ones with 100% feedback are scammers, or it was a setup so they can build up to the holiday to then go ahead and scam a bunch of people and get a ton of money all at once. We've seen it. It's happened to us before with a PS4 once before, and some other technical and electronics. So we're very careful. I only buy from people that are top-rated plus for the most part. 99% of what we buy is probably that. The other 1% we may buy from somebody else if it's some kind of weird oddball item that there's no other option. With Amazon, we only buy usually from the buy box or from, somebody with top-rated feedback on Amazon, even, with the buy box. Amazon, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a refund. You're guaranteed to get your stuff back, or whatever the case may be. eBay's going that route too. Y'all know that. They just started the free returns and, with the 30-day return policy. So, that's just gearing towards Amazon. They've got the centralized listing now coming into play. And as that gets closer and there's more and more of these are rolling out, and it mimics Amazon's ability, there may be a buy box on eBay. I've heard talk about that from people who have some inside knowledge. So, that is an option. It has been brought up at some point, and they're steering towards that way. So, you want to be ready for it. Clothing could be that same way, Tommy Hilfiger shirt or whatever the case may be. Whatever you're selling, if it's clothing or books or whatever the case may be. Books, I can see, I still sell books, even when I'm not in the buy box. It just depends on price and what kind of books they are. All college books I usually sell. It doesn't matter if I'm buy box. Or I'll do chegs on college books too if the price is right. Or eBay too. The sources on certain books, it doesn't really benefits you to do FBA on some items. College books, when it's coming close to the season, I have no problem selling for top dollar, almost always, as long as they're valid, new, current editions, from the last session, which we do buy too. We do have some connections. We went to college recently and graduated, so, but the buy box isn't there for eBay, so top-rated plus status for us is the buy box. That's what I look for if I'm buying something. If there's 100 people selling a PS4 that I want to get for one of my kids so they each have their own, or whatever the case may be, I'm going to only buy from the person with the top rated seller plus status. I'll pay a few extra bucks more to make sure that that happens, within a reasonable amount. And if they're a little less than the top rated seller plus, 99.9, and the feedback, can explain it, I still might buy from them. But the top rated plus status for me is the buy box. Take it however you want. eBay is going the same route as Amazon. Amazon is crushing it now. We're selling more and more collectibles on Amazon, and eBay isn't going to be the only source for buying everything. At some point I can see it. Amazon is supposed to be doing a big push towards antiques coming soon, and hitting the collectibles market. They have expanded. It took me a while to get into that category on Amazon to get the unlock. I had to put out a bunch of forums and fill out 100 examples, and it took a little while, and it took 2 or 3 tries before I got in there, and a bunch of emails. But I did get in. From what I understand, they are expanding the category to newer people at this point. So if you're not on Amazon, you're welcome to go ahead and give it a shot. It's not going to be a huge mover like eBay in many areas, so just be cautious of that. Don't expect it to change your sales overnight. Amazon on collectibles is a seasonal for collectibles. Records is a different story, but the collectibles we sell way more in fourth quarter and the very end of third quarter on Amazon than anything else. But eBay hasn't changed. It's pretty much steady across the board for collectibles all year round. But that buy box option coming to eBay, yes, no, who knows? If it does come to eBay, you're going to have to be the top-rated seller plus status to get that buy box. Keep that in mind. You've got to be top-notch seller on Amazon to get to the buy box. Even with the FBA, if a ton of people send the same item into FBA, they're going for the best, the most overall person to be the buy box person. I know it rotates somewhat. We've been Amazon for, well over a year now. And, we sell stuff constantly, every month, every week. Not every single day do we sell something on Amazon, but very close to it. Some days, we sell 3, 4, 5, 6 items on Amazon, out of season as of right now. That's what we're doing right now. But that's about the most we sell. But again, the buy box is a key feature. And most of the collectible items, as I said, on Amazon that we sell, we are the buy box because they're one-of-a-kind, listings. And that's part of the features of, being accepted into the collectibles or any category on Amazon. But without the buy box on eBay, your number one chance to get the best sale, the best opportunity is to have the top-rated seller plus status. It's just a given. And that goes down to doing everything you can to keep, good seller standards, good seller practices, and to keep up, how you interact with customers and buyers, and just in general how quick you answer emails and the whole works. They're starting to send out notices about answer this emailer and stuff. I got one the other day for the first time. And they send out more notices on stuff in your watch list. They're sending out more options, things that Amazon does. I get notices from Amazon about this and that's, opportunities for, merchandise and things. But that's just how eBay's steering. So you just got to keep that in mind when you're doing this, is to get the best possible feedback, do everything in your power to be a top-rated seller plus status seller. It's just a given for you, I think, at this point, especially in the summer when there's still just as much competition and less people buying for the clothing items and things like that. You have to have the best feedback. I'm going to buy clothing from somebody who's top-rated plus over somebody who isn't. If you've got 98.9% or 99.2% and there's somebody who has 99.9 who's selling the same item, I'm going to buy it from him. It's just a given. The returns, it shows that you can handle the returns right. It shows that you're a quick shipper. You can, address, issues, solve them. You don't have people opening complaints against you all the time. You ship the item out. Your descriptions are good. Your descriptions are correct. You follow all the rules on eBay. That's what they're looking for. This turnaround, it's going to come into play like you not answering questions quick enough that might start hurting your ranking on eBay. It might be something similar to how Amazon does. Answer within 24 hours or whatever the basis is for the items or the categories you're selling in. But that's just a touch on that. It's an important issue for me, for everybody. It should be. But that's a big, huge reason why you may not have good sales right now. You got to be at the top of the pile of all those people in every way you can to be the one who's going to sell that item every time. Don't mimic off the people who are selling stuff sporadically. Look at the people who are top-rated plus seller status and see how they're selling the items. You know, to get that status, you have to sell so much, you have to do so much, you know. It means something. So again, that's just a little touch on that. That's just something I think everybody should be doing. You know, it helps build the whole eBay community. You know, it spells respect for everybody. It's a big thing. But again, Don, the Auction Professor, hopefully you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button below, subscribe, and tell a friend.